what would be one of the most famous Wembley wins they've ever had. Van Dijk! It's absolutely amazing! Legend is written for Virgil van Dijk and these Liverpool teenage sensations. You cannot believe how they do it time after time after time. Mentality monsters. Yes, they are.
Have you recovered yet? It was an unforgettable outing to Anfield South as Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool overcame the odds to triumph in the League Cup final. The Reds are ready to welcome their Wembley heroes back home, and it's time to take a step closer to another final and another trophy. Tonight is the FA Cup. How further can Liverpool progress in this? It's the final game of the fourth round, and Liverpool welcome Championship side Southampton, who have aspirations to be back in the Premier League next season. No doubt this will be a tough one this evening. Injuries, fatigue could be a leveller for this 8 o'clock kickoff tonight. And welcome to Matchday Live. We wait to see what impact the gruelling final has had on the Liverpool starting lineup. Expect some rotation, which means more young stars on show tonight. And we needed some academy experts. Neil Mellor and the under-21s player coach Jay Spearing have answered the call. And we've already checked whether Jay has brought his boots. Fortunately, he's here with us instead. And another very proud night for you, Jay, I think.
Yeah, it is. And listen, an unbelievable weekend, unbelievable moments to see them boys get the trust from the boss to go and perform in a cup final at Wembley in such a difficult game as well. It was a tough one against Chelsea. They've got hundreds of millions worth of players, and we're bringing on our boys, and they've done that unbelievably well from the get-go. As soon as Bobby Clark obviously coming on first, James McConnell coming on next, and then obviously Jayden as well. So listen, they've now got their medals at home, probably hung up, but they're absolutely buzzing and they're still on a high now.
There's such energy about the stadium tonight. It's funny when you walk in, and ordinarily this might have been one of them games you thought Liverpool could probably do without it with the injuries, but not a bit of it. It's almost like it's the only place you'd want to be tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate enough to be at Wembley at the weekend, and it was a buzz seeing our team lift the trophy, but being around Anfield, and it's felt like that since sort of the Jurgen announcement. There's a buzz around the place thinking how special the end of this season could really be. We've got one trophy in the bag. Now this is another possibility in terms of the FA Cup. We know about the league, we're in the mix for that, the Europa League as well. But yeah, there's a feel-good factor around the place because we're playing well. Yes, we've got injuries which you can make excuses, but we're not. And I think we're in a really good place at the moment. Just want to pick up on what you said there about the trust of the manager. You know, we're speaking about the young players and how well they've done certainly in getting on the pitch, but we've got a manager who trusts playing these young players. I mean, in the Premier League, some of the top clubs have got some top young players, but do they have the trust of the manager? We have that trust, and okay, needs must, he's having to play them, but still it's incredible the job they've been doing.
I think it's 40-odd debuts that Jurgen Klopp has given from the academy already since he arrived at the club. There might be another one or two tonight, who knows, but tell us about the energy inside the academy this week, Jay. The first couple of days back, what's it been like?
Absolutely bouncing. There's no other way to describe it. The smiles on people's faces, and that goes from the chefs down at the academy, the cleaners, the kit men, absolutely everyone. The place is electric, and you know what, it's a real proud day for everyone involved with the academy, from the under-8 coaches with the boys, some of them come all the way through, and then obviously going down to the under-21s, which obviously I'm involved in myself, to see the boys come in the next day, literally grins from ear to ear, absolutely buzzing. They didn't bring the medals in with them, but listen, now I'm not the only one in the 23s with a co-winners medal, but now I'm delighted for them. They deserve it, because behind the scenes, the academy staff all the way through have worked tremendously hard to give them players the best opportunity when the opportunity came around. And like Neil said, the trust and the opportunities that this manager has given our academy and the players to go on and to make their debuts for this club has been incredible.
Which conversation stuck in your mind the most of all of the players that were involved?
For me, it's a little bit more of a personal one with James McConnell. James has been someone that I've worked with since going into the academy for the last 18 months, and for me, I think his performance all the way around was outstanding. He was brave on the ball, he was willing to get it, and I think obviously the stat that most people probably know, that he had the most touches since he came onto the pitch, but we laughed and joked about a certain moment where Palmer went past him and he pulled him back, and that's something that James has never done, but I've never seen him really do. It was the side of the game that he needed to bring in.
The dirty side of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, knowing when the team are in trouble, can he take a yellow card for the team? And what a moment it was as well. And listen, for him, along with Bobby and the rest of the boys on the bench, it was a unbelievable occasion.
You've watched these lads since they were youngsters as well, Neil, so we talk about Jay's sense of pride. You will have felt exactly the same thing.
Yeah, exactly that, because we've seen them do ever so well in the academy. But to get that first team opportunity, thinking, well, how can they handle that? Now we've seen them do well in certain cup games, the Europa League game, League Cup early rounds, even the FA Cup in the previous round against Norwich. But to play in the showpiece final at Wembley against Chelsea and do what they did, it really was amazing. And Jay talks about that moment with McConnell, and it was a big moment because it was 0-0. Chelsea are breaking through. They could create perhaps the opening goal there, but McConnell shows experience. Maybe he's learning from you. Maybe you've had a little chat with him.
I'll take that, mate. Thanks for that.
But he showed maturity like a James Milner would, like a real experienced pro, to say you ain't going to break away and create an opportunity to win the game. And I thought that showed great maturity for somebody who's never started a Premier League game, and yet some players play 500 games and never get a medal. Good on the young lads at the weekend.
The celebrations didn't last long. I was actually shocked by how quickly talk of tonight came about in that dressing room after the game. It was almost like we want more of this now. There's this addiction about first team football, and so many of the young lads would have been desperate to be here tonight.
Yeah, of course they will, and straight away on Monday, even talking straight about the final, within 20 minutes, half an hour, they were going, well, who's training with the first team today? Have you been given a call yet? Who's around there? Who's ready for the weekend? Are injuries coming back? Are people sick or whatever? Because, they've got that bite now, and they've had that taste of what it feels like to win silverware at such a huge club, and even just play any minute for this club, and now they want more. And a big thing for me is just to say to them, listen, ride the wave. Ride that wave that you're on at the minute. Don't ever enjoy the moment, because listen, for all we don't know what's going to happen in the summer, but the new manager might be completely different to Jurgen Klopp, where he might not want to trust the young boys as much as Jurgen has over these last 8 years. So they have to be ready, but right now, enjoy the wave, enjoy the ride, and take as many minutes as you can.
How quickly does football change? We've watched these lads in the Youth Cup this year destroy Arsenal, put 7 past them, beat Fulham. So when the draw was made against Leeds United, they're thinking, right, we've got a quarter-final of a Youth Cup. Now they're involved with the first team, thinking we're going to be playing in a 5th round FA Cup game. We've just played in a League Cup final. So that's how quickly football can change. You have to be ready as a young player. You're probably not thinking that chance may come. And for these young players, it's come round a lot quicker. I think the manager mentioned it. He knew he'd have to use his squad, but didn't quite realise how deep the squad had to be. But they've all been ready and turned up when needed.
How fantastic is it that they've got someone like Jay there, Neil, that has lived exactly that same dream, of course, but, changing manager, knowing that it won't always be this good. There will be a time where they're going to have to go back with the 21s, potentially even the under-18s and play, and how they ride that emotional wave.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking to Jay now, and we've seen Jay in and around these young players are making a big impact, because Jay's had a great career himself. He's been fortunate to play for the first team, gone on and played for different teams. But for these young players, it's about learning that little bit of nous when you need to, rather than just that naivety which young players have. Yes, they're going to make mistakes and learn, but if you've got an experienced player, someone like yourself, you don't mind saying experience,
no.
but somebody's
been veteran.
Well, been around the block, who knows the game. So in training, all of a sudden they're picking up a few little things, and then they're taking it into games, and that sort of experience is invaluable. So having someone like Jay has really helped. You mentioned James McConnell. I'm sure he would probably speak about the influence you've had on the training pitch, probably running past you a few times.
Hey, listen, it doesn't take much time. But no, listen, that's kind of a side that people probably won't see, the day-to-day stuff and the nitty-gritty stuff, because listen, we know all these boys can play football. They don't come to Liverpool because they can't play football. We know they can do that, and we are trying to show them, listen, my job is to kind of guide them in ways that are completely different. Obviously still the football going, but show them the dirty side of the game, exactly what McConnell did the weekend, and I had to take yellow card for the team.
Briefly before we go to team news, give us an insight into what a recovery looks like now in the modern game, and that these sports scientists, therapists that come into the dressing room almost like big signings, because they've got to get these players ready for tonight. So what does it look like a day of recovery?
They have to, because the first person that's going to ask is the boss. Straight away in the morning, as soon as he goes in, the sports science will go into the boss's office. They want to know exactly who's done what, who can do this, who's next on the team sheet, who's off an injury bed at the minute. They want to know absolutely everything. And a recovery day, you probably start by just having a bite to eat, maybe a meeting to obviously celebrate. Everyone was in AXA on Monday to celebrate the moment. get the young boys in the office, say congratulations, and then after that it's about recovery. I don't think many people trained on Monday because of the minutes that they put in, the efforts that they put in as well. So that was about getting into the pool, the ice baths, getting fueled, ready to then go again, and obviously train yesterday for a -1.
Yeah, proper session for the players yesterday. How recovered are they, and how many were eager to play in this one? Let's find out. Becky Davis has the all-important team news.
Thank you very much, Pete. Yes, it is a Liverpool side, isn't it? Licking their wounds still from Wembley at the weekend, and I think it's fair to say licking their wounds from the weeks prior as well. It's been a pretty densely populated treatment room at the AXA Training Centre for some time now. But in the face of adversity, there's always a bit of a positive to take, isn't it? And clearly that has been the emergence and performance of those young academy lads who shone so brightly in the latter stages at Wembley at the weekend. And I can tell you, some of them are going to get the chance to shine once again under the lights here at Anfield tonight, because there are starts this evening for Liverpool for Bobby Clark, James McConnell, and Lewis Koumas gets his first ever start in a Liverpool shirt tonight. Let's take you through the Reds team in full then. It is 6 changes in total from that game against Chelsea at the weekend. Quaveen Kelleher continues in goal after his final heroics once again. Joe Gomez starts for the Reds tonight, and Virgil van Dijk, one of 5 players keeping his place from that starting 11 at Wembley. Cody Gakpo continues in the Liverpool starting 11, as does Harvey Elliott, still the youngest ever FA Cup player for Liverpool, 16 years and 276 days old he was when he played against Everton back in January 2020. Kostas Tsimikas starts for Liverpool tonight. His corner, of course, led to Virgil van Dijk's winning goal on Sunday afternoon. Now on to the academy products. Bobby Clark, his second start for Liverpool. You might recall he started in the League Cup against Derby last season. He gets his second start under his belt here tonight. And James McConnell, who got his first ever start, you might remember in the last round against Norwich, so impressive when he came on at the weekend, wasn't he? And of course, very good friends with Bobby Clark from their days growing up in the North East before moving to Merseyside. Clark coming through the academy at Newcastle earlier on in his career, McConnell at Sunderland, and what another exciting step on their journey it is for both of them tonight. And we move on to Lewis Koumas, a huge night for the 18-year-old. He was on the bench on Sunday and gets his first ever Liverpool start here tonight. The son, of course, of former Tranmere player and Welsh international Jason Koumas, who, of course, spent almost a decade with the Liverpool Academy himself. He starts this evening, Lewis Koumas, then as does Jarell Quansah and Connor Bradley, 2 more Liverpool Academy products in this starting 11. So it's a first 11 in which more than half the starters are actually Academy products tonight. On the bench for the Reds, Adrian Ibu Konate, Luis Diaz, Alexis McAllister, Callum Scanlon, Kay Gordon, defender Amaro Nallo is on the bench for Liverpool tonight, as is Jayden Danns and Trey Nyoni as well. If he plays, Trey Nyoni, he would become Liverpool's youngest ever player in the competition. So that is the Liverpool side then, hoping to keep their quest for a quadruple on track here against Southampton tonight. 6 changes in total from Chelsea. We will have the Southampton team news with you very soon. Back to you for now.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. It is a strong Liverpool spine to the team, but there is, of course, the big start as well for Lewis Koumas, which brought a massive smile to the face of Jay Spearing here from the same part of the world. A route through to the first team. His dad started off here at the academy, and he's waited very patiently for this moment, Jay, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and he's worked really hard again behind the scenes. The under-21s, he started an electric year at the under-18 level, scored goal after goal, week in, week out. He's a real workhorse, and he's got his rightly call up to the 21s, and then, for the 21s, he's not looked back since, and as you can say, he's bided his time. He's seen Danzy come on and cuff file him, but he's in and around the first team. The first team have obviously reported back they like him a lot with his intensity, his pressing, his finishing, and you know what? Absolutely delighted tonight to see him get a start. We didn't quite know exactly what it would be or where it would be, but listen, to start at Anfield under the lights, what a moment for him, for his dad and for his family.
I think he only gets that opportunity because he's done so well, hasn't he? You know, in terms of the academy teams. You mentioned about 18s, he showed he could handle that extremely well. Stepped up to 21s, and you sort of find when they step up from 18s to 21s, a few struggle to adapt, and it takes a little bit of time for me. I think Louis Kumas handled it very quickly and did very well at that level. I love the way he works hard, the way he presses, the way he loves to score goals. He'll be a goal threat tonight, you know, out from that left-hand side. So a real proud moment for him. Maybe a bit disappointed he wasn't involved against Luton. Dante comes on, who again has done very well himself, but now it's his opportunity tonight, and we're better placed than here at Anfield.
Yeah. Are you surprised by how strong the elements of first-team players? And I mean, Diaz coming in at the back of the tunnel there amongst the substitutes, but Virgil van Dijk captains this team tonight.
Yeah, of course, because I think if everybody said that after the game of the weekend, after playing 120 minutes of obviously with a cup final, the intensity, Wembley's a big pitch, by the way, as well, to get around it. So to see the amount of players that are playing again shows the levels of fitness that Jurgen has got these players to. But we've won one competition, but we're still in 3, and this is an opportunity for us to get into the next round. We're only 3 games away from the final, so for us it's another huge occasion to try and go on to win more silverware and get another day down at Wembley.
People are saving up already now for another trip to Wembley. Are you surprised to see the skipper out there tonight?
Yeah, well, he's one of 2 that played the 120 minutes, himself and Harvey Elliott. You know, yes, Gakpo started the game as well. Conor Bradley, who did extremely well. Another one, Kelleher. So 5 of them started at the weekend, but just a pair of them did that 120 minutes. I think the big thing will be, because of the injury situation at the moment, the question would have been asked, are you okay to go again? You mentioned about the sports science, the people around. Virgil's been incredible this season, and if he didn't quite feel right, I'm sure he'd have sat out and be ready for that game against Nottingham Forest. But seeing the fans there at Wembley thinking, I want to be there again. You can sort of sense that, can't you, from a few of the players. And that is a stronger lineup. We were unsure how strong it would be after the performance against Chelsea, lifting that trophy. But that's a really strong lineup, that one, against Southampton, who were going really well in the Championship.
Let's talk about Conor Bradley. It wasn't that long ago. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about him almost in the same arena as these academy players. Now he feels like a seasoned campaigner, doesn't he? The fact that he's in at right back, and it's going to be very difficult to get him out of that spot now.
I couldn't agree more. I think the levels, the intensity. Now, listen, he went on loan last year at Bolton, did an incredible job. He's reaped his rewards of playing week in, week out. And I was a little bit gutted for him to come to start of the season, picking up that injury. He wasn't been able to go on pre-season, but he's bided his time. He's worked hard behind the scenes, and an opportunity came. And listen, he's someone that's grabbed it with both hands. He's fit, he's front-footed, he can attack, he can defend. But you know what? I love how he just loves playing football. You can see that he loves playing week in, week out, and obviously you can see
had enough of him there, hasn't he?
Yeah, you can see on the VT now as well. He's not afraid to put himself about, which makes it even better.
Yeah, but again, look at his attitude there. He's wound up a senior player in Chilwell, and he's not reacted. You know, Chilwell is an experienced player thinking, are you going to react? And he's not. He's gone, no, I'm in control of my emotions there. So credit to him there. He's brilliant going forward, and he can defend again. Chelsea are a bit of a threat on the counter-attack. He could read that situation and got back defensively really well. And again, he'll have to do that against Southampton tonight.
Liverpool will face, if they get through this one tonight, either Manchester United or Nottingham Forest in the next stage of this FA Cup. I'm trying to find out whether is it home or away? It's away. It's away from Anfield, unfortunately. Right, in the meantime, the Reds are up against the visitors Southampton, of course, tonight. They've got a big game themselves against Birmingham at the weekend that we'll reference soon. But Russell Martin, has he shuffled his pack for tonight? Let's find out from Becky Davis.
Yeah, thanks very much, Pete. This is a Southampton side whose priority, as you say, is no doubt securing their return back to Premier League football last season. And up until recently, that quest for them had been going fairly well. They were on a 25-game unbeaten run. But in the last few weeks leading up to this fixture here at Anfield tonight, it's fair to say that the wheels have slightly come off that. The Saints have lost 3 of their last 4, including back-to-back home defeats, the latest of those being to Millwall at the weekend. So with that in mind, it is a fair few changes that the boss Russell Martin makes from the weekend. This is the Southampton side in full for this evening. It's Joe Lumley in goal. James Bree, Jack Stevens, Jan Bednarek starts for the Saints this afternoon. Ryan Manning, Shay Charles, Joe Rothwell, Joe Aribo, Samuel Adozi, Sekou Mara and Kamaldeen Sulemara start for Southampton. That is their starting 11. That is the Southampton side here at Anfield tonight. A Saints team who've never scored, would you believe, an FA Cup goal here, but their manager has. Russell Martin was on the score sheet for Norwich. That was back in September 2015, a 1-1 draw for Norwich here at Anfield, and that happened just before Jurgen Klopp took over as Liverpool manager. That's your latest for now.
Thank you, Becky. That is all for the moment. If you're with us on social media, then we are saying goodbye, I'm afraid. But if you want even more from the two lads, you can find details of how to subscribe to LFC TV and LFC TV Go online at the usual place. Matchday Live continues after the break when we do a deep dive into Sunday's epic Wembley victory. Plus, we'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and Bobby Clark. Audio commentary against Southampton with Steve Hunter and John Aldridge. That starts just before 8 tonight. And live Matchday reaction from us back down pitchside gets underway from about 10:15 tonight. That's dependent, of course, on the possibility, and you should be reminded that it could be a late night, extra time and penalties if we need them. Here we go again. So full match replay on TV and Go are available at midnight inside Anfield on YouTube and Facebook tomorrow for you as well. We're back in a few minutes. We'll have a chat about how that incredible League Cup win can positively impact on the rest of the season now, and we're back in a few minutes.